Hello boys and girls, welcome to Mrs. Bandu's Math Movies. This is for Course 3, Lesson 4-3, Solving Proportions. And our objective is to identify and solve proportions. Alright, we have a couple of concepts here. I have started the notes already, but I will try to go slow enough. Remember, pause if I start going too quickly. One of our definition is proportion. A proportion is an equation stating that two ratios are equal. Arithmetically, we could say that 6/10 is equal to 9/15. That would be a proportion. Algebraically, A/B equals C/D, where B is not 0 and D is not 0. Remember, those conditions are needed because this represents division, and division by 0 is undefined. Okay, now, cross product property. The cross products of two ratios are found by multiplying the denominator of each ratio by the numerator of the other ratio. In a proportion, the cross products are equal. So I'm going back to the numbers that I had there. 6/10 equals 9/15. Some kids like to connect them, and when you connect the numerator and the opposite denominators, okay, they make a cross in between, hence the term cross products, at least in my estimation. So 6 times 15 equals 10 times 9. 6 times 15 is 90, 10 times 9 is 90. So we do have a proportion here. In algebra, we would simply write A times D is equal to B times C. Of course, again, B and D cannot be 0. But again, you see how your cross products would match up. Okay. So again, in a proportion, cross products are going to be equal. If we test cross products and they are not equivalent, then it's not a proportion. Okay. Identifying proportions. Do 7/12 and 21/38 form a proportion? Explain. Okay, so first of all, we write it as a proportion. The little question mark there simply means, okay, we want to test this out to see, well, does it work or not? Okay, and use number sense to find a common multiplier. So remember, I can just look at this and I know that 7 times 3 is 21. But I wonder, is 12 times 3 going to give me 38? Well, the answer here is no, because 12 times 3 is actually 36. So what that tells me is that 7/12 does not equal 21/38. So they do not form a proportion. So I can treat them as equivalent fractions and just find a multiplier. That's an alternate way rather than using cross products. Okay, so they're going to work just like fractions or equivalent fractions. So we can use those ideas as well. Okay, question number 2. Using cross products. The fixed rate of conversion is €1 to 0.7876 Irish pounds. How many euros would you receive for 125 Irish pounds? Okay, so we want to let n equal the number of euros. Here we have our exchange rate of Irish pounds to euros. So the number up here needs to be the 125. So again, this is Irish pounds. Oops, I didn't write Irish very well. Sorry, IRISH pounds to euros. Okay, since I know that I have 125 Irish pounds, I'll put in the 125 there, and I want to see how many euros is that. Then I'm going to do the cross products. 0.7876 times n, so that's where I get that. And know that I'm putting the side in which I'm taking the top number, that's where I keep the top number. I don't flip-flop the top numbers. The bottom number or denominator moves. And then 1 times 125. So I'm keeping 125 on the left. So that's going to give me 0.7876n equals 125. And then I'm going to divide each side by 0.7876. So that I can isolate n. Go ahead and use a calculator here. You should get 158.71. So you would receive 158.71 euros. Okay, I'm going to double check myself just to be sure that what I wrote down is in fact right. So I'm going to do 125 divided by 0.7876, 158.71. Okay. So again, sometimes you will find it helpful to write down how you're setting up your proportion. You could set up the proportion differently as long as you're consistent in the way you set them up. The problem can look a little bit different. This is just one way that this one can be done. Okay. And number 1 and number 2 quick checks. Please have those done for the next time that we meet in class. As always, bring in any questions, write down any problems you run into. We'll go over these and do some more practice. I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.